What's going on, y'all? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing. First and foremost, before I start this deck profile, I would like to invite you guys to come down to Gerard's Card Gaming Shop. It is located in the Houston area. If you are in Houston, H-Town, baby, please come down. You will meet your boy 3 Stacks. You'll get to meet me, see me, and duel against me if you're down for the challenge. And also, it's an amazing card shop. It has great pricing. They're very fair. Most card shops, like for example DNA, which I normally go to, but I'm converting to make Gerard's my local. They'll sell a card like Totally Awesome for like 20 something bucks. And Totally Awesome's value is like 15 or less, I think. Another great example is they'll sell a card like let's say for example this Shadal Winda is worth 20. For example, they'll sell it for 26 bucks. And you'll think to yourself, well, retail value is 20. Why are you selling it higher than its actual? We need to make our profit. Well, we understand that, but we're trying to get a deal too. So Gerard's Gaming is a great card shop for one of those reasons also, because you will find great prices for the cards that you need. You will pick it up at retail or less, and most of the time it will be less than retail value. So Gerard's Gaming is also trying to outsell other competition, and I think there really is no competition. That's a no-brainer. If a card's value $7 and you can go to DNA and pick it up for 11 and its value is 7, so you're overspending $4, or go to Gerard's and spend $6 for a $7 card, you save the buck and you get to enjoy yourself at a great card shop. So you guys check that out. Please do that favor, and again, you will be seeing me there and if you get there. So this deck that I'm showcasing to you guys is True Dracoslayers. Now, the original Dracoslayers made their debut about a year or two ago, if I'm not mistaken. They dominated the meta. Their artwork is amazing because they're actually like dragon people. And funny thing that worm types are the evolved forms of dragons. So I feel that the true Dracos themselves are actually evolved forms of the Dracoslayers. Like it's just lit. I don't know. I could be wrong, but funny thing, they always have like a sword and a shield, and like the true Dracos, like they have swords and shields. They're really awesome. But the Draco Overlords are the evil guys, and they're the enemies of the Dracoslayers. Slayers slay them. The true Draco's enemies are true kings. So the archetypes, funny thing that their archetypes, their enemies look like each other. True kings look like true Dracos. Draco Overlords and Dracoslayers look alike. This deck is just so awesome. I really love it. It's fun. The lore behind it, you guys have to look at the lore behind true Dracos. It even explains it if you read the effect of Master right here. He's actually Luster Pendulum evolved, becoming even more powerful. So Luster Pendulum is actually really, really clutch. He went through a journey, and he's like an ultimate Dracoslayer. But anyways, we'll probably have to talk about card lore another time. But if you guys are into card lores and stuff like that, manga, comics, etc., woo blase blase, that's something that will definitely pique your interest, because there's a story behind this deck, both the archetypes. So without further ado, let's hop into my true Dracoslayer deck profile. We are playing 3 copies of Masterpiece. Now, on the artwork of Dragonic Diagram, this is something else that's so cool. If you look right here on Dragonic Diagram, this is actually Masterpiece, the true Dracoslayer, in the middle of Rat Pierre, Metaphos something. I think his name is, I don't know, Animat, let's just guess. And that's Crystron Rion. So you have a Crystron, a Zodiac, and a Metaphos who are actually combining their power to help True Dracoslayer, Masterpiece, the true Dracoslayer, evolve to his complete and full powered form. So if you see right here, look at him and look at him. This is actually on Dragonic Diagram. This guy right here, a Dracoslayer, is in the artwork of Dragonic Diagram. So this is baby Masterpiece in his weaker form, and in Dragonic Diagram, they're actually converting his energies and making him to his maximum potential, basically evolving him. So this is the evolved form of this guy, and the artwork is so much more impressive, even though the original Masterpiece looks awesome too. Let me tell you his effect. I'm sure you guys know Masterpiece's effect by now. Everybody knows his effect. So Masterpiece, the true Dracoslayer, he cannot be normal summoned. You have to special summon him by attributing a Dracoslayer and a Draco Overlord monster. And he can't be summoned by other ways. Once per turn during either player's turn, when a card or effect. Now that's very important. You guys have to pay attention to that. When a card or effect is activated. Now the reason why is because when a spell or trap is face up on the field, it has an effect now. So he's not like a negate the activation of a spell or trap. He can actually negate Diagram while it's face up on the field. He can actually negate the effect of Heritage or even Return in the graveyard, which is very important. So this guy actually increases your ceiling because he gives you protection that most cards or most decks just don't have. So when a card or effect is activated, you negate it and destroy it. Now, it's so important that you keep in mind that it's card or effect, because most people know that you can't negate the activation of True King's Return with a 9 Pillars of the Yang Zing, for example. 9 Pillars negates the activation of a spell or trap. Now, when True King's Return goes to the graveyard, it is not a spell or trap being activated. It is the effect of the trap engraved. Masterpiece can actually negate that, and your monster will not get destroyed. It won't get targeted or popped. So that's something to keep in mind. He is very, very powerful. He's one of the very few negators in the game that can actually do that. Of course, Cyber Dragon Infinity is the other exception, which makes them outstanding and powerful boss monsters. His other effect is if this guy leaves the field or is destroyed by if he just is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon a Dracoslayer monster and a Draco Overlord monster from your deck. I wish it said ignoring their summoning conditions, because if it did say that, you can actually, when Masterpiece leaves, special summon another Masterpiece. But it does not say ignoring their summoning conditions, so you can't actually use Masterpiece to get out another one. But it's really cool that he floats. So he actually can sometimes be a lot more powerful than this Masterpiece, because this one, even though it's his evolved, technically his more powerful form, all he can basically do is protect himself from certain cards, being immune, and pop a card. This guy can negate so many different things that other cards cannot, and if he does leave the field, he'll float, which actually can set yourself up to summon another Masterpiece if you run multiples, because he summons a Draco Overlord and a Slayer, and that's exactly what you need to summon him. Really cool. But the 3 Masterpieces, I love their artwork. Both of these guys look awesome, and it's just so fun and euphoric when you get them both out on the field. Remember, Dragon and Worm. Worm is a ascended, A-S-C-E-N-D, ascended form of a dragon. So this is actually the ascended and full powered form of this Masterpiece. I love the story behind Masterpiece. So clutch. This deck profile is awesome, you guys. 3 Brass Knuckles, or what one of my good subscribers, he's actually faithful to this channel, called him Clay Matthews. Just dedicated to you, man, just for you, you know, to make you smile. I might actually nickname this guy Clay Matthews, and you will basically get credit for his nickname. But right now I'm calling him Brass Knuckles. In the future I may call him Clay Matthews. We're also playing 2 copies of Whiskey Fireball, or Fireball Whiskey, which is what I'm calling him. I'm sorry, 3 copies of him. I could not, why did I have the other one? So we're also playing 3 copies of Whiskey Fireball, or Fireball Whiskey, which is really, really clutch, because depending on the matchup, basically Fireball and Knuckles are going to apply the same amount of pressure on the board. He's a bit more versatile because just getting out that trap allows you to out problematic monsters, but they're just so well matched, on par with each other. It's like this close. They're evenly matched to me. So 3 Whiskey Fireballs and 3 Brass Knuckles, and of course your 3 Masterpieces. Continuing with the Dracos, because we're running the true Dracos, and we're running the OG Dracos, the Dracoslayers. We're also running, let me organize this a bit. Here we go. Maybe that's a little bit better. Get those Knuckles right there, and get my Whiskey Fireballs right there. So we're also running 3 Masters. I love his name, Master, that's his name. Master Pendulum. So I actually think that Master Pendulum eventually came to be Masterpiece, because if you look at their artwork, they literally look the same. Oh my god, they are the same. I'm tripping out, bro. I'm tripping out. So Dracoslayers are actually the true Dracos. They came to be the true Dracos. So true Dracos started off as the Slayers, and this guy right here, he started off as Luster Pendulum. Luster Pendulum evolved to Master Pendulum. Master Pendulum evolved to Masterpiece. And with the assistance of a Zodiac, a Metaphor, and a Crystron, with their combined might and power, he evolved into his full capacity, his ultimate, his full power. Masterpiece, the true Draco slaying king. Woo! The artwork and the story behind this deck is awesome. 3 Masters, 1 Luster, the OG, and also 1 Vector. Vector is the Draco Overlord that I'm running. I cannot find my other copies of Vector. I will definitely be running a Vector and a Lecker. Once I find them, I might have to update this card list. I didn't want a proxy, but you should be running at least 2 Draco Overlords. I wish I could just go through my cards and find them, but I just didn't want to look through everything. But you should be running multiple Draco Overlords. Because when your Masterpiece gets destroyed and special summons, you cannot special summon a Dracoslayer without an Overlord. So basically you want to run multiple Overlords just so that you can maximize and capitalize on his effect when he's destroyed, so that you can actually special summon another one from the deck. But most of the time you're actually decked in through all of your Dracoslayers, all 3 of your Masters and your Lusters, before you get a chance to use his effect to special summon. So you're basically just running the Draco Overlord so that you can basically fulfill his effect to summon him. And running the 1 Vector, you can just Pendulum summon him out from the hand or the extra deck, then tribute him and special summon him. So it works very perfect the way it is right now, but if you want to actually use Masterpiece's effect to special summon, you're going to need to run multiple Draco Overlords. But that sums up the Draco portion of the deck. Now, this next part is a surprise that I did not mention in the beginning of the video, but it will be in the title of this video. The Pals! So it's still Draco Pals, but it's true Draco slaying Pals. We're running 3 copies of Performance Pal Pendulum Sorcerer. So I'm running the Pals in this deck because I want it to have the ultimate consistency in this deck. I want it to have draw, 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 dig, 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 dig. We don't have Card of Demise. We don't have Duality. We don't have Desires. Those 9 spell cards, we need to make up for that draw power in the form of the Performance Pal engine. So 3 Sorcerer. This guy's literally just searching for your ability to draw. You just search to draw. And I'm also playing 1 Skullcrowbat Joker, so you have 4 Sorcerers. 2 copies of Lizard Draw and 2 copies of Giturtle. These are your go-to plays. This is what you want to end on. After your Sorcerer resolves, you want to search these guys. Activate, activate, draw 2 more cards, and keep digging, keep digging, keep digging, and leave your scale set up. And it's really cool that you have Lizard Draw and Giturtle. You want to actually pop one of them just in case you either want to clear a back row, because remember, Pendulum Scales are now in your spell or trap zone. So if you want to clear one, so that way you can set 4 instead of set 3. So that's really clutch, and I like this combo. This deck does Pendulum Summon a lot frequently, but most of the time I just like to perform, you know, I just like to settle with my true Draco plays. So sometimes I will choose not to set up my scales in order to just set 1 extra back row. For example, if I have a True King's Return in my hand, I can choose to either set this in my back row or keep it in my hand and play a scale. Because remember, your scales are in your spell or trap zone. So sometimes you have to choose between the 2, and sometimes you can actually do your Pendulum Summons and then go into your true Draco plays. That sums up the monster count. We have this Performer Power engine here literally just to deck in and get us straight to our combos. This is a 40 card deck, and then we're not playing Upstart because we have a bunch of Upstarts here. It's literally like 9 Upstarts. Now moving forward with the spells. We are playing 3 Draconic Diagrams, which is really powered. I call it double D's, big titties, yeah. And 3 copies of Optimus Prime. They're all supers now, finally matching. 3 copies of True Draco Heritage. 3 copies of Disciples of the True Draco Phoenix. I wanted to maximize on these cards because we are running basically a full pure True Draco engine in here. Not pure True Draco, we're running a full-fledged True Draco engine. So you want to be able to maximize on these effects and have additional targets for everything that you need. So 3 of each. The only non-True Draco stuff is obviously the Dracoslayers, and the Performer Pals do not count because they literally just draw into these cards. So that's what the Performer Pals initial that's their initial goal in this deck, to just get you to your Dracos anyways. So technically speaking, these are all just fillers. Literally, these cards will just get you to other cards. Think of it like Into the Void, Upstart Goblin, you know, Card of Demise, stuff like that. They're just here to just draw into the True Dracos and the Dracoslayers, which are the initial plays of this deck, the most important. 1 Draco face-off. You resolve this, it's just so clutch, and I love that it's a quick play. I wish it was at 3. Moving forward to the traps, we actually only play the Draco back rows, the 3 True King's Return and 2 True Draco Apocalypse. This was the only card I did not want to play at 3. I felt that I had to choose between these because I wanted to keep this deck at 40 and not 41. Because it's very important to run this deck at 40 if you're going to run the Performer Power engine in it. To make your deck basically a 31 card deck, you're going to need to run a 40 card deck to make it as consistent as possible so that you can get to your True Draco and your Dracoslayer plays. Which initially you want to have something like an Ignister or a Dynaster alongside with your Masterpiece and your Knuckles. Which it's just a fan thing. It's like themed artwork basically. I love it. But yeah, I chose 3 returns over 3 Apocalypse because return, its recur ability to special summon from the grave is much more important than halving monsters' attacks. So yeah, that sums up the main deck. The extra deck, we are playing Links because I want to Pendulum Summon from my extra deck at one point in time. Especially grinding it out, you know, Pendulum Sorcerer will pop your scales, they'll go to the extra deck. You want to Pendulum Summon from your extra deck more than once. So we're playing Deco Talker, Mrs. Radiant. Now, Mrs. Radiant can be made by using the 2 Link Spiders that I'm running my extra deck. Mrs. Radiant is not legal yet, but don't worry, this is a deck profile, and we're not playing this as an event. So before you drop that hate comment saying, dude, you know this card isn't legal yet, I know that it is not legal. I'm showcasing this simply for the sake of the deck profile. Understand that, please. So Master is actually a normal monster. Here's Master right here. He has no actual effect. Well, his effect is pretty broken because it says that Luster Pendulums, the Dracoslayer, continues his journey, uncovers the secrets of dragon alchemy, believing it is the key to dispelling his curse and restoring his memories. His power continues to grow, perhaps the same power used by the Draco Fiend. Now, I believe that he forgets who he is and finally remembers who he is when he becomes Masterpiece. And he realizes, I have been a boss and a beast this whole time. I've been sleeping on myself. He's a normal monster, though. So you can normal summon him. He'll go to the extra deck, I believe. If not, he'll go to the grave to link summon. I'm not sure how the ruling works with link summoning with pendulums, but if I'm not mistaken, since he's going from the field to the grave, he'll go to the extra deck instead. And then you will summon your link spider. And of course, you're going to need 2 link spiders, so you're going to need multiple masters. So you summon your second link spider, send those 2 to the grave, and summon Mrs. Radiant. Now, Mrs. Radiant is a lot better than Decode Talker, simply because Decode Talker's zone actually gives your opponent an extra, basically an extra zone for his extra deck monsters. So that sums up the 4 link monsters that we are playing in order to spam from the extra deck still, because it is a pendulum-based deck, and we all know how pendulums work. 1 Ignister, 2 Dynasters. Where are my masterpieces at? I just want to sit them right next to these just for the artwork, just so you guys can see how cool the Dracoslayers look together. Can you guys see this? Yes, you can. The masterpieces, bam, Ignister and Dynaster, bam. I'm playing 2 Magister Paladins, the Ascending Dracoslayer, Dynaster Power, the Mighty Dracoslayer. I'm playing 1 Daigusto Emerald, 1 Tornado Dragon, 1 Ragnar Zero, 1 Dweller. All 3 of these rank 4s allow me to play on my opponent's turn. Diamond Direwolf and Gaga Cowboy for game. That will sum up my deck profile, you guys. Give your honest opinion and feedback on what you think of the deck. And of course, the theme and the artwork and the lore and story behind the deck makes it an exceptional deck just for the fans. I love y'all. Be safe. Make good choices. Do not hurt your brain cells. Remember, Gerard's Card Gaming. Y'all make good choices again. Feed your children. Pay your bills on time. And hopefully y'all show love to the channel because we are pushing for 2,000 subscribers. Peace out.